Good evening, good evening, good evening, family. Welcome to another edition of Thorough Black Talk with your sister Keisha, your brother Tad, and your brother Ashe SJ. Will be joining us in a few minutes. Can't wait to get started. Our guest tonight, none other than Knowledge Born Allah, the hardest working man in this media game business. He'll be joining us tonight as we discuss various current events. And we may have a special guest, or maybe we have to reschedule with our brother Saccz of the notorious CRIPS, New York. And I believe we're going to be rescheduling with him for a later date. But we have a lot to discuss anyway. My brother Tad is in the building. How you feeling, brother Tad? What's good with you?
Feeling good. I'm feeling good. Sis, life is good unless a judge give it to you. So other than that, I'm holding it down.
That's what's up. We don't want no judge problems. At least I don't.
At all.
At all. But, I'm glad to see you continuing to do your thing, because, the turnaround is coming. Whether our people want to believe it or not, the turnaround is coming. And with some of these mandates that are coming down in various cities, in particular here in New York City, Better Days Ahead Fitness might be on the ball again. So I don't know. You may have to repackage some things and get some
You
things in
already
the
know,
works.
sis. You know how we do. We work in silence, When it's time to
Yes,
show, we just
indeed.
show up.
Yes, indeed. Because some strange things are happening yet again. And I want to give a special shout out um, to our brother Blacksmith, who was our guest last week. He sent us a message tonight. He said he want to thank us again for allowing us to come on the platform and for us to continue this good work. And it falls right in line with the passing of our elder, our scholar, our master teacher, none other than Dr. Runoko Rashidi, who you and I both knew and came in contact with on many occasions.
Yes.
Me, myself, personally, was honored enough to open for him on a number of occasions. But what are your thoughts and memories of Dr. Runoko Rashidi and his work?
Well, I think his work, I'll speak on his work first, is definitely appreciated because it comes in the spirit of Dr. Ivan Van Sertima, just establishing and confirming what many of us have already known. We've always said this planet is ours. We've touched the four corners of the globe prior to any other people stepping foot on this planet. And Runoko Rashidi turned that myth into facts and reality, to continue the work of Dr. Ivan Van Sertima. And of course, he took it a step further, showing our presence all over the planet. And it kind of substantiates the claim of the nations of Gaza and Earth when they say the Asiatic black man, because before we knew the bones of the first person were in Africa, rather before it was scientifically known and proven, we went under the mindset that we're Asiatic, However, through Dr. Runoko Rashidi's work, we see that the first Asians were actually African/Black folks, so that just reaffirms what many of us have already known. And then, of course, other studies show that we've always been here. But in terms of personally, I think he's one of the most humble, pleasant elder scholars we've had in our midst. He wasn't, he didn't self-proclaim himself to be anything other than a man doing his part for our people. You know, he could have went around bragging and boasting and saying, I'm Dr. Rashidi and I did this and I did, but he was such a modest, humble spirit that it's like just talking to a family member. You know, so I truly appreciated him for what he's done in terms of his work and his level of humility that we all can take a page from. You don't have to be loud and boisterous to get your point across about how great we are. We just demonstrated in our behavior, and he exemplified that.
Facts. And like I said, coming in contact with him on many occasions and being honored to open for him on several occasions. Whenever he came to New York, I would try to meet up with him. But as you said, at least to me, and you confirmed that he was a humble individual. One of the things that he always said was that if Black people aren't studying, he want no part of you. That our history is so rich and so vast. And in order for us to truly grasp it, you have to be on continuous study of who we are. On one of his books, which is one of my favorites, is The African Presence in Early Europe. I think it's a profound piece of work. Um, and in that book, he actually wrote a scribe to Black women, putting them on the equal plane of a god. Um, and that really touched me. Also, he was a fellow Leo. Need I say more? Always a fellow Leo. And in fact, one of the last times he was here in New York, in Brooklyn, I believe it was Mega Evans College. I believe that's where we were, if I'm not mistaken. When
I forgot where we were.
we
I
took
forget
this
where we
picture
were.
right here with the Baba, I think it was Mega Evans. I think it was an event that King Simon had at Mega Evans College, and we had the pleasure of being with him and chopping it up with him. In fact, it was just before we started this brand new platform that he agreed to come on and be one of our first guests. So I will always remember that. And he always told me, if I'm in the United States, which was, not that often because remember I believe his only daughter lived in France or lives in France. And so Dr. Rashidi will often travel back and forward around the globe. In fact, I believe he traveled to over 100 different countries around the world. One of the things that he taught me to do is when you visit museums, oftentimes, when you go into a museum, they have exhibits that can be cut off from the public, meaning you can only get but so close. In some museums, they won't even allow you to take photographs. And so he always taught me to just push the envelope, and especially when you're traveling abroad, pretend that you're the ignorant American and you don't know, the customs, and take those photographs and get those documents anyway. So I remember that just the week before when I was with my family in Philadelphia, as I mentioned before, two of my cousins took me to the Philadelphia Arts Museum. There is a sister there who also traveled the world, who I thought had a wonderful exhibit about the confinements of Black women. Um, and I pushed the envelope. I saw, the brother who was working in the museum, telling Yurugu, hey, get back, you're crossing the line, you can't be too close or what have you. But, I started touching the walls and things and nobody stopped me. So, I guess the spirit of the Bible was with me um, that night. And if I can go into my files a little bit later, I will show you some of the writings from this artist who spent a large amount of her time here in um, Spanish Harlem. So, you know, again, thank you to our master teacher, our Baba, who would go into places that nobody would ever think of to find our presence, to teach our culture and our history. He would go to the homeless on the street. I remember when James Patton picked him up and he stopped over there at the shelter on Bedford Avenue and started teaching to the people on the street. So, a lot of memories of Baba. And again, this is one of my favorite books that you guys can pick up. Black Star, the African Presidents in Early Europe. I think it's a profound piece of work. And on the back, it has um, his complete profile of who and what he is and his body of study. So you can check that work out anytime you get ready to. But I see we got our brother Knowledge Born in the building. What's up, Knowledge Boy? How you feeling? The
Peace to the
hardest
God.
working man in the business. Let me see if I
Peace,
can.
knowledge,
Yeah, I'm
born.
honored, man. I feel like,
There you
hey,
go.
a B48, Black Power, race first. Can y'all hear me
B48.
okay? As long as I see these two Brooklynites, I know it's better days ahead, and we're going to get
That's
some
right.
thorough black talk going on. So I
That's
was
right.
just intrigued by this conversation in Leo season and Black August. You understand what I'm saying? And I just got finished with my fast for the day. The sun going down. Let me look out. Feel like a Muslim again. You understand what I'm saying? So in solidarity for what they would deem hunger strikes, all these other things that they would term what we were doing. We come from warriors who don't get celebrated. So it's always an honor to be on Thorough Black Talk where the African warriors are celebrated, they honored and revered and respected, you know. So honored to be here with
Thank
y'all.
you, brother. Well,
Ah,
it's
shit.
always a pleasure to have you on. When you told me you was going to be in the town, and if you could come through, I say, yeah, no problem. You already know what it is. But
That's that.
you know, what are some of your memories or favorite works of Dr. Runoko Rashidi, if you don't mind sharing that with us?
Well, Sister Keisha, I think you ran the gambit on it. I just want to echo the sentiments about, and you also, Brother Tad, about his humility, his sincerity, and his seriousness. That was a serious African warrior scholar who didn't play no games. Even though he was lighthearted, he had a sense of humor. He knew how to keep it balanced. But his reverence and honor for the African woman is unparalleled.
Ah,
Unparalleled.
shit.
Oftentimes we hear, scholars go left, right, brothers go left, right. His dutifulness, he will go out of his way, whether it was an image, whether it was a statement, his speech matched his walk when it came to the reverence and honor that's due and that's very underserved in the space that we say we nation building. How we nation building without African women? You see what I'm saying? So that cornerstone, that place where we seek refuge in the space as an African man that we are allowed to rule through that African woman. You understand what I'm saying? So his reverence, I think that was one of the distinct things from his character. And he was down for the get down too. I don't want to leave that off his legacy at all. He was down for the get down because, we got some, when folks get up in age, they want to try to make it to heaven on that paper kite. So what they once was, you know, that was my youth, that was my fiery days. No, but as long as we had warrior scholars like our ancestor, Dr. Rashidi, and our living ancestors, Bob Baruti, you know, Baba Mukasa Ricks, you see what I'm saying? Those war generals who push a hard line. You see what I'm saying? And Africans like yourself that push a hard line. Baba Rasakim in the chat. You see what I'm saying? Serious warriors you can come to for guidance, who not just giving you some lip service, who have a life that is dedicated to the commitment, the protection of the African family, the protection of the village, and walk it how they talk it. You know, I can't even. You understand what I'm saying? I can't even keep up with Baba Saccz. You understand what I'm saying? They got that challenge, no opt outs, and
Yeah,
he on it. You understand
that's
what I'm
right.
saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah. So it's those seeds that continue to allow that great African lineage to flourish and to let us know, you know, we're not out here by ourselves because it get lonely for the warrior until his enemies at the gate. Then they like, Sister Keisha, Brother Tad, you understand? They call it in the reinforcements. You see what I'm saying? But if you honor,
Yeah.
you know, those thorough ones in their season, you know, because it's Leo season. I can see the mane from over here, Sister Keisha. Okay, stroke the mane. You understand what I'm saying? The mane is in the building. Okay, so yeah, and it's Chip Field's birthday today, so shout out to that warrior queen. You know, a strong sister. You know,
That's what's up. Now, you also mentioned, brother Knowledge, that we're in the midst of Black August. For our listeners and viewers who pretty much don't know what that is, can you expound upon what Black August is, at least from your perspective?
most definitely, and I think that they should check out Baba Kalanji Changa's rendition and his breakdown on Bandcamp. I'll send y'all the link for to hear his talk and to hear his conversation because you know there are things that you do in Black August and there are things that you don't do in Black August. Just like every other cultural observance, we have rules, we have regulations, and we have standards. And I think that in lieu of those things, people start doing what they want to do, you know, because they don't know no better. So this is like, oh, yeah, it's Black August. Let's have a Black August party. Like, no, that's not it. You see what I'm saying? You know, the folks that want to get their mind, their spirit, and their soul right, they should be tuning in here, and they need to be hitting up, you know, Uncle Tad for that workout. You see what I'm saying?
That's
To
right.
to show that there's better days ahead, because this is a time for reflection. You know, Black August was started in the prison in commemoration with the August 7 movement and so many other, you know, auspicious events that took place in this month. So, in solidarity to with the Solidad brothers and others, this was formulated in the prisons and spread out to the warrior circles in the world. You know, Baba Amin said it best. Shout out to Baba Amin. He said, there are Africans that can get honored in Black August in February, but there's Africans in February that can't get honored in Black August. there's a
Mm,
distinct there's a distinction. You
definitely.
know, some of them coalition folks, you know, them rainbow folks that you know we get away with and say, oh, you know, it's Black History Month, don't qualify in Black August. So there's a space in regards to the solidarity. So there's rules, there's regulations. There are flea days where you fast for 24 hours. That's the first of the month in honor of Qatari Golden. It's the seventh of the month in honor of Jonathan Jackson. It's the 13th of the month right before Flag Day, and then the 21st in honor of George Lester Jackson, where you fast for 24 hours. What you're supposed to do in Black August is fast, is train, is strategize, and reflect and stand in solidarity with those warriors who are still behind the lines now. You know, so it's a likening to the struggle, but it's a likening to having an understanding of what it takes, the amount of discipline, the amount of dedication that it takes, you know, for our liberation. You see what I'm saying? So in Black August, we stand in solidarity. You know, you might get some folks because everybody's slick out here. Be like, you know, I'm Black 24/7, 365. All right, well, show me a month. You understand what I'm saying? And for the substance abusers out there that drink and smoke, like this ain't the month for that. You see what I'm saying? This ain't
Right.
the month for that. This is where you abstain. This is where you show some discipline. That's why show me a month. And if you need something to occupy your mind, your body, your spirit, get with Coach Tad, man. Let Uncle Tad work you out. You understand? You won't be
Word
thinking
up.
about no cigarettes or any of these other vices that we got going on. You show the vice who's in charge. You see what I'm saying? Stand in organic solidarity with your brothers and your sisters that's out here doing the thing. See, Baba, training 60, 62. You understand what I'm saying? Age
30,
ain't nothing
30
but a number.
miles in the last 5 days. That's what's up, Baba Ra.
See what I'm
That's what's
saying?
up.
So, in that space of organic solidarity, the commemoration, you know, because people might say it ain't a celebration, it's a commemoration. In commemoration with those warriors, we stand in solidarity. You know, we train, we meditate, we fast, we pray, we strategize, and we prepare that temple to do what's necessary when it's time to do what we need to do. So that's me, brief, you know, in regards to Black August.
That's what's
No
up.
doubt.
And for those of you who are viewing on Facebook, I believe there are some reception problems. I just put the YouTube link in the chat, so you guys can switch over to YouTube. And I'm about to, for those of you who are on Twitch, I will put that link in the chat as well. You know, Facebook get a little shady every now and again, so you got to bob and weave, get what we need done. Brother Ashe SJ is in the building. What's up, Brother Ashe?
Yeah. What's the word? What's the word, family? We
Peace,
got
brother Ashe.
our brother, Knowledge Born Allah. You ain't lying, Keisha. It's definitely one of the hardest working brothers on the forefront when it comes to Black media, independent media, not just media, but revolutionary warrior media. You know what I'm saying? African-centered media. Like this is the Don Cornelius right here of all of that. You know what I'm saying? So you know, we're gonna have to get
Don
the
Cornelius.
Black Power Soul Train going on. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, what the brother said about Black August was dead on point, you know, and it's interesting. A lot of people don't know about Black August. Of course, we know Black August it's not something that's taught in the educational system, at least not in the European generic public school system. And it's also because, you know, obviously, like the brother said, that it was a holiday that was created by prison inmates in prison in a correctional facility, you know. And it's interesting the history behind that. Just like on the face value of what it is, it's like you in a correctional facility, you're supposed to be getting corrected, and then you got these brothers in here that created a holiday on their own in prison to reform not only themselves and their people, but to also help reform this damn filthy nation that we live in. You know what I'm saying? So they created all of these powerful, positive things, you know, for a whole race of people living here in North America. And that's not taught in the educational system. You know, the fact that these brothers did something noble like that from where they are shows you that they can turn around and do some positive things. And most of them, actually a lot, not all, but a lot of them actually got put in there for doing something positive anyway, which is being a freedom fighter, being a real warrior, revolutionary for our people. You know, that's illegal. If you're fighting for our people, that's illegal in itself. You know, but the fact that these brothers did that together, put that together from inside of a prison cell, and it became so big as it is, I mean, honestly, they deserve their flowers right there. You know, not only honoring the ones that have fallen, but just all of the real revolutionaries of the past, the people that are locked up right now. We still have people incarcerated that have been freedom fighters for our people, you know, and it's really something that we should really pay homage to, you know, because a lot of our people, like, they got so excited about Juneteenth and things of that nature. Well, let's keep that momentum going. We got a whole month. A lot of people complain about Black History Month being in February, and it's the shortest month. February is the shortest month. It's the coldest month. Black people don't like the cold. We don't have every excuse not to celebrate Black History Month, right? Well, y'all ain't got no excuse now. It's the hottest month. August is hot. It's long. It's a long month. And you got numerous, not only to honor the fallen freedom fighters that we have and incarcerated freedom fighters, but not only that, August itself has so many historic points for our people when it comes to, like, Haitian Revolution started in August. Before that, the event Bois Caiman, which is the event that started the Haitian Revolution, that's next weekend. So that's mid-August. Then, like my brother said, you got Flag Day. That's coming up. That's the day when they actually gave Black people a flag. The red, black, and green RBG flag was created in August. Not only that, then you got Marcus Garvey's birthday is in August. You know what I'm saying? So many powerful things happen in August. So it really is a spiritual time for our people. You know, whether you're looking at it on a conscious or a subconscious level, you know, metaphysical level, like it's really a time. And that's why I like what the brother said about, you know, building yourself up, having discipline, you know, things of that nature, fasting, exercising, taking care of yourself, reading more. Like Black August is a month where we supposed to be coming together, just like, not just like, but you know, I would say to draw a contrast, you know, these damn acidics, when they have they holidays and they fast, or even not only them, like Muslims, they go through Ramadan. It's not just to be on a level of you know, reverence to whoever your God is, but it's also a method and a tool that they use to build their people up. To say, look, this is how we're gonna refresh. We're gonna start from this point. We're gonna take time out. We're not gonna eat. We're not gonna drink certain things, or we'll drink at a certain time of day and eat at a certain time of day. And during those times when we really got to be getting our mind, our body, and our spirit right. And not only just right, but aligned with what's best for our people as a race. Every other race does it. Chinese people don't even celebrate New Year's Day on the same day that we do. You know what I'm saying? You got Chinese New Year, you got Lunar New, you got all of these different things. And then Black people still sitting here in the goddamn warp hole. You know what I'm saying? Because we brainwashed, thinking that we got to celebrate these same holidays, and the cycle never ends. It's just a cycle that keeps us going, like my brother said, a revolution. We start right back where we started. We end up right back where we started, you know? So this is what Black August is really about. Not only honoring the ones that have put in work for us, but really making sure that we are the next generation of them. And so many things have happened in Black August that we really need to sit back, put it. What I do, I put it in my phone. I set a reminder on my phone, on my cell phone, put it in the calendar of your phone, all of these days, because these are individual holidays. So Black August is a holy month. It's a holy month for Black people, and we really got to look at it like that, and you know, celebrate and do some powerful things. What I did, I started my cash mob. That started last year in August. You know, now with this whole pandemic thing, I'm trying to like figure something else out. Like, damn, what can I put together? You know, not just an event, but like, how can I help? How can I be of service to my people? You know, because time passed for so long, and like the pandemic slowed you down. I'm like, man, I ain't been active. Hold up. You know, that's the difference between us, Knowledge Born, and Keisha and Tad. A lot of these people out here, they do one thing, and they utilize that to get a whole buzz and a whole YouTube career. And that same one thing that they did 10 years ago, a decade ago, they did this one good deed, and they keep generating that as a buzz to get more and more people, more followers. But us, on the flip side, we can't do enough. We sit back here like, damn, hold up, I'm inactive. I feel like an inactive gang member right now. I can't be repping the set. I can't be repping RBG, walking around with no red, black, and green flag on my head. You know what I'm saying? I can't be walking around quoting all these ancestors that have transitioned and their spirit is still here, and I'm quoting them. They looking down on me like I'm goddamn shame. You know what I'm saying? So we hold ourselves accountable. You know, we sit here and we want to like regurgitate information as if the information that you regurgitating don't have an energy on it. The person that wrote that book, they sitting up here looking at you like, I ain't write this book for you to sit here and just keep mental masturbating and having all of these debates and all of that. You ain't. I wanted you to apply the information. You know what I'm saying? So for us on the flip side, we sitting here like, man, we inactive. We got to get in the street. We got to help our people. We got to get these children, get their minds right. You know what I'm saying? We got to get this Black business up. We got to get this self-defense up. We got to do something. So that's what I'm sitting up here for August, not only reading and reflecting and building up on myself, but I'm trying to see how I could be of service to my people. You know, so even if it's somebody else got something going on, I'm pulling up. I pulled up to the gang summit. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole bunch of other things. And we about to have our brother Saccz come on the show. He texted me just now. I said, you know what? Let's just reschedule. But we're going to have a neighborhood rolling 60s brother. You know what I'm saying? A Crip gang member that has converted his life. And he's all about Khalid Muhammad and all these great, powerful people. He studied them as well. He changed his life. And now he's helping the community. So we're going to interview him on the platform soon. You know, so this is the things that we got to do. We just trying to build with our people, connect with our people, and see how we could be of service in Black August, family. And ain't nothing better than the feeling of being of service to your people. I'm sure Knowledge Born could attest to that. When you in service, it's better than when you receive. When you serve, the feeling, the what do you call it? The when you get that rush and it rush into your brain and your blood cells and all of that, like the endorphins. You get way more positive endorphins from receiving something. You get way more from giving something than receiving. You know what I'm saying? So if you ain't never tried it, if you were armchair revolutionary, listen. Try something different, baby. This is Black August. This is the goddamn Black New Year right now. If you think about it. We got Kwanzaa. If some people don't want to celebrate Kwanzaa, here you go right there. Ain't no reason to not celebrate Black August. You can't say no. Snitches is involved. You can't. These is brothers from the prison system that put their hands on people. Real warriors. You know what I'm saying? Real people that got arrested and dedicated and sacrificed their life. And some of them is still alive behind the walls, losing their mind. But they still, that one part they didn't lose is that African mind. You know, so yeah, family, this is what we got to do. So if you never heard of Black August, it's a very powerful month. It's a really good time for us to optimize, step our game up. You know what I'm saying? And that way, when we come together collectively, we can really something like Voltron and really just make some powerful things happen for us, man. But yeah, you said it all the way well, Brother Knowledge One. So I just want to say I'm giving you your flowers. We are all definitely proud of you, the things that you do. You know what I'm saying? And you know, this is your platform as well. Whenever you need it, whatever we could do, you never know. You just gotta put the word in, brother. We right there. You know what I'm saying? But Keisha, yeah, what's the word? I know we're gonna jump into some of these topics. You know, you want to ask some Knowledge Born some questions, or what we gonna do?
I do. But I just wanted to go through some things really quickly in Black August. And let me tell you how in tuned we are. Brother Knowledge Born sent me something to share with the screen. And we actually pretty much had the same thing. So shout out to the RBG Street Scholar because his library is off the meter when it comes to Black August. So I always pulled information from him. And in fact, if you follow me, K Fighter on scribe.com, you can have access to that file as well. But real quick, just some things in Black August that I wanted to touch on was August 20th, 1619, firstborn African captives were brought to England's North American colony of Jamestown, Virginia. August 16th, 1768, Charleston, South Carolina, rebellious Africans known as the Maroons engaged British military forces in a bloody battle defending their camp, which was a haven for fugitive slaves. August 30th, 1800, day set for launching Gabriel Prosser's revolt. On this day, over 1,000 armed slaves gathered to endeavor to secure their liberty. However, bad weather forced them to postpone the revolt, and betrayal ultimately led to the crushing of their physical force. August 21st, 1831, slave revolt launched under the leadership of Nat Turner. And before I move on, you know, I got to stop right here with Nat Turner because, you have some of these YouTube cats and so on and so forth who say that Nat Turner did not exist. Well, there is a book that was written in the mid 1800s, and I will show you the title of that book later on in the show. And in this book, Black man, who is the author, talked about not only did he talk about Nat Turner, he talked about the Haitian Revolution. He talked about many other slave revolts that took place during that time and before him. Um, and I'm going to share that book with you all a little bit later. But, just to quell the myth that Nat Turner did not exist, that must stop. That must stop. And I found a Black man who wrote about Nat Turner during that time. But yeah, so Black August is critical for us to celebrate, to honor, to move in a direction of a positive nature in spite of the negativity that surrounds us as a people globally. I want to give a shout out to our brothers in London, brothers and sisters rather in London, who are also rebelling against the system, the political system as it stands there. I would implore you all to follow them because these two are brothers from the street, former gang members who said enough out there in London. Now it's time to go after the real enemy. And they have formed a security unit, if you will, of Black neighborhoods in London, in particular to protect Black women and Black children. So I will post that information on our Thorough Black Talk Facebook page for you all to follow them as well. To our brothers and sisters in Nigeria who will continue to fight against police oppression, government sanction of police oppression at that. Continue to fight. We have a lot of viewers in Nigeria, so shout out to all of you.
That's
So
right.
get in tune with Black August, family. It's
Yeah.
something that you should know, share with your family, and learn about these political prisoners, in particular here in the United States. Um, it's been a serious fight to get our brother Mumia Abu Jamal home. And in fact, the state of Philadelphia, um, in particular, have come down hard on the Move organization and Mumia Abu Jamal. But, until we right these wrongs, we're going to continue to suffer. See, I believe in karma. I believe things happen for a reason. One of the things that I believe, and you all may disagree with me, but it's just my belief. And being a Leo means I'm very intuitive. The reason why we suffer today is because we refuse to wage a gallant fight. We don't understand that this is not only a spiritual and cultural war, but it is physical as well. And these folks show us every day that this is a physical war. And we are encouraged to stand down on many occasions. But let me make this perfectly clear because I know that our channel is watched by a lot of people, some who even steal our talking points, but that's neither here nor there.
That's
Um,
that's right.
you got the right ones over here. We are not the stand down type. And so if you come at us or our family in a way that we deem unsavory, it's going to be a different outcome. I'm not standing recording no Becky's and nobody else.
That's right.
No, no. Whoever want to record, go ahead, but I won't be one of them.
I
Because it is
like that word.
the what word?
I like that. I like that word, unsavory, because that's the word that mama usually say before you get popped in the mouth. She say something that makes you think like, wait, hold on. You know what I'm saying? And then you get popped in your mouth right quick. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you get somebody that's on a level of they about to do something to you and they calm with it, that's the one that you don't want to mess with right there. When they calm before they lash out on your ass, you don't want to mess with that one because I mean it's a premeditated attack that's coming on you. So you hear Mama Keisha talking about if she tell you in your face that's unsavory, because you know Brooklyn, we gonna sneak you. We ain't gonna make it loud. We ain't gonna pull up and go crazy and make it loud like yeah. You want to fight? Nah, we gonna say nah. You know that's a little unsavory right there. You know what I'm saying? Woo, that's it. So I like that word, sister.
So, sis, let me ask you real quick though.
Right.
What's the name of that book you're talking about, and who's the author? That's questioning that Turner.
Oh, I'm gonna post it in the chat in a few minutes. Just give me a few seconds. I'm gonna pull it up for y'all.
That's right.
Okay.
I want everybody to be able to see it and get it at the same time. But I'll pull it up. Just give me a few seconds.
And I say that because this the internet is the coward's playground, and it also gives the unresearched and unqualified a platform to speak as if they're well read. However, Dr. Clark did a book extensively on the existence of Nat Turner alone called The Second Crucifixion of Nat Turner, where he compares the two books. And I did this test myself. You walk into the bookstore and ask them for the book Confessions of Nat Turner, and they almost always will offer you the book of William Styron. Now, William Styron was a European LGBT member who who insinuated that Nat Turner only revolted because he couldn't be with a European girl, which we know is not true. It's a fictional book. So, family, if you ever go get The Confessions of Nat Turner by William Styron, that is a fictional book based on true events. But the author took poetic license to create the narrative how he wants it to be. However, the real book of The Confessions of Nat Turner is written by Thomas Gray, who is Nat Turner's attorney. And Dr. Clark made a distinction between the two and deciphered the book. And unfortunately, so many of our people are so unread and they're so lazy in their scholarship that they don't pull back the lids and do the due diligence. And this is how we have people who will just come and say, I think Brother Ashe said, I'm black 24/7, but they won't sacrifice a month, or Brother Knowledge Born said, and I think that's very important because a lot of people that are being followed right now are not worthy of leadership. And we see it happening right now. It's faulty leadership. We're supposed to move like ants in a colony, where organized ants could take down the mighty elephant, so it doesn't matter the size. It's just the level of organizing and the will of determination. So I just had to put that out there because I really don't like when people try to minimize or debunk all of our efforts and our liberation, and particularly coming from a black man. So those who are not black may take this as gospel because it confirms their bias, even though it's not true. Any shred of evidence that confirms somebody's position against us, they'll hold on to that, particularly if it's from someone who's supposed to be on our side of the fence. Racism is a team sport, and a lot of our folks don't know which side of the fence they belong on. And I just had to put that out there.
Sorry about that. I'm trying to pull up the free version because I want you all to be able to get this thing free. So it's taking me a second. But the name of the book, it was written by Williams Wells Brown, and it's called The Black Man, His Antecedents, His Genius, and His Achievements. And it was written in the 1800s. I'm going to pull it up. I want y'all, you could get it from Amazon if you want to or what have you, just to put in your physical library if you want. But I'm also going to show you a website where you can actually download the book for free and read it at your leisure. So just give me a few minutes to do that. But I want to move on with some questions here for our brother Knowledge Born, who I believe is the hardest working man in media because his channel is on 24/7. I could be doing laundry at 11 o'clock at night and I got something nice to listen to and watch because he got somebody on the channel. He could tell you, I'll stop in 1 o'clock in the morning while I'm downstairs cleaning or doing something and listen to his program. But, what makes you want to push the envelope, brother Knowledge? Because I've never seen anybody single-handedly run a channel 24/7. What makes you want to do that?
Well, I think this was a calling that was placed on my heart by my mother first, my mother and my father, and then the collective ancestry of those who were forgotten. We give a lot of credence and ode to a name here, a name here, but no one speaks for the voiceless. You know, even like with this platform, my platform, and a couple other platforms are unapologetically African with no cut, with no chaser. You see what I'm saying? It's a rarity to find. And even in the spaces where it's supposed to be African centered, it's African centered with a little rainbow love. You understand what I'm saying? A little small hat love, a little apologist for this, a little concession here. You see what I'm saying? And then it's the outright and blatant robbery of our ancestral lineage. There are people that are talking about Dr. Runoko Rashidi today that shouldn't be talking about. You understand what I'm saying? And giving that attention and fake reverence because there's no love. Where there's love, there's loyalty, and we operate in the space of truth. And you got connivers and backstabbers who co-opt things and take them and misrepresent them for their own gain. You know, today they talking about Runoko Rashidi. Tomorrow they talking about, you know, Hebrews or Moors or whatever. You understand? So there's no stream of consciousness that goes along with it. It goes with whatever's clever. Today you love our elder, our warrior scholar, our beloved ancestor, and tomorrow you calling us N-words. You see what I'm saying? Or the same day. So a sacred space of motivation when I first started. I started 6 years ago in Black August, in honor of Black August, to, you know, push the envelope in regards to tell the story for those who are not here to tell it themselves and to find those amongst our people to celebrate daily. So 2,200 episodes later, still here. And the motivation is that someone has to speak for us. John Henry Clark said, who will speak for the African in the 21st century? You see what I'm saying? So we're here. You know, we're here. We create way stations for a proper propaganda campaign. Shout out to my brother, General King Samir, for that important purpose. The propagandists, the African liberation propagandists, and the African liberation freedom fighter play the same role on the battlefield. The freedom fighter can be forgotten if the propagandist isn't doing their job. But if the propagandist is doing their job, they will be immortalized and enshrined forever. So that propagandist tool, that media tool, if we go back to the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey, as we mentioned earlier, he had Negro World News. So we had some periodical, something that's associated with controlling our narrative and our story from an organizational perspective and from a provincial government perspective, because we have a provincial government. You see what I'm saying? We have a provisional government that operates in the same space that the UNIA, operates. So these stations that we have, if we don't talk about them, if we don't push them, if we don't tell our story like Brother Ashe was saying earlier, somebody else is going to tell it. You're going to get some, rainbow lover team up with some devil that he was in love with and disrespect and dishonor an African insurrection retributionary, one who said, okay, this is divine. Retribution is divine. I got this from God. I seen two angels fighting against each other, and that was the sign. You understand what I'm saying? In the Haitian Revolution, they got a sign. It was like, oh, I thought it was supposed to go down right now. It's on now. We come from those who fought. We fight each other now, but we come from those who fought. There's always a sense of justice is what we have to impart. There's always a sense of justice, always a sense of recompense. Because if you did something wrong to somebody I love, you just said it earlier, Sister Keisha, it's a short conversation. You understand what I'm saying? It's a short conversation. So in the interest of justice, what the psychological mind map is, they want you to feel remorseful for doing what self-preservation, what nature, what's divine. You go against a mother's cubs in nature, you'll see what's going to happen. You understand what I'm saying? So that divine essence is being systematically removed from our psyche to where you do something righteously, like Baba, Baruch calls it righteous rage, and now you supposed to be dealing with some guilt. Like, yeah, I don't understand that. You see what I'm saying? I don't come from that. My mother, as eloquent as she was, as honorable as she was, as respectful and loving and as kind as she was, she said to me and my other brothers, if you see me in a fight with a bear, help the bear. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't come from, Like y'all don't come from, we don't descend from lineages of suckers. The ones who come from suckers, they come from a sucker generation, the sucker bloodline. You understand what I'm saying? So we know what it is, you know. So that motivation to continue to go and grow. I look at my children. I think about the children in my family, the children in African people family. If you don't get enough motivation to do the act, if you can't look at them African women and get enough motivation to act, if you can't look in your own family, look in somebody else's family. That's the beauty about history. You could look in somebody else's African family and get enough courage. You be like, you know what? I think about Pan Africa. She alive right now. You understand? I get motivated from her. I can think about Dr. Betty Shabazz, peace and blessings be upon her, and get motivated from that. I can look at Sister Keisha right now. I can look at Brother Asha. I can look at, Brother Tad. I can look at those who push a hard line and live a hard line lifestyle. And all of this yap. You understand what I'm saying? If they yapping, they being merciful to you. I need you to know that. If they still talking to you, that's a mercy. And that's your last chance. So the motivation and the inspiration that comes to keep pushing Do Knowledge Radio. I done quit 57 times. I done reached burnout. I was like, I'm good, all that. I just remember that it's larger than me. Because if it was just me, like I always say, it would have been one episode. That first episode, what is consciousness? Not have been the end of it. But the propelling and the propensity and the need for our story to be told. African people to be celebrated and honored in a space where we are constantly bombarded and degraded on a daily basis. There's no inspiration for anybody to be proud of. My children watch this. My children's like, Daddy, I saw your show today. Come on. You understand what I'm saying? So the validation that you get from your family, then from your community, and how you will be judged. This case, you always do that. You always give us that. You worried about when your name is called, who you got to answer to. You see what I'm saying? Who gave you this inspiration? Who gave you this motivation and this power and this empowerment? And what did you do with it? They entrusted you with this. They made this a part of your life mission, your journey, your goal. You're not here because you want to do what you want to do. You want to decide that you get here to the planet and you don't want to repeat African life. You're in violation. The millions of ancestors who converged to bring you to this time, and this is what you're doing. You gotta understand that. You're duty bound. So for me, I'm duty bound in that same space to continue on this work and leave this place in a better position for African people than I found. So they coincide. Because, that's the day job. The night job is real maroonish. The day job is the shows. The nighttime. Ray Charles said the nighttime is the right time. And that's very, very, very maroonish. So I hope
That's
I
what's
answered
up.
that question.
Yes, you did. And then some. Because, that's why I say we are in tune. There are a lot of things that we could be doing. Especially me. But I have a duty to my ancestors. I have a duty to my ancestors, and that's why I employ each of you who are viewing, please research your own family history. And when you research your own family history and you wonder why um, you're not involved, not researching, not studying, not seeking a higher level of integrity, if you will, getting your Iwa in check, it's because you came from a family of suckers. I'm sorry. You just did. And it's very, very important that you understand that. Because as you said, and I mentioned many times, we all leave it here. I got ancestors I got to answer to. I know my family history on both sides. What my family has gone through for me to be here. What am I going to tell them? Oh, I was at the club. I forgot about all of that. I ain't feel like doing that. I had to watch, Love and Hip Hop. I had to watch Have and Have Nots. Again, I do all of that too. However, I understand that the war doesn't stop. The war doesn't stop. And I think that The reason why a lot of us find ourselves in suffrage is because our ancestors are not in line with what we're doing, or vice versa. We're not in line with what the direction our ancestors have given us. And yes, these things can be very difficult. Sometimes I don't feel like doing it. Sometimes I don't want to be up at 3 o'clock in the morning reading, but I have to do that. I have to do that. And, again, brother, thank you for always being an inspiration to me, to brother Tad and brother Ashe, because if you could do it, we could do it. But I want to go back to that book real quick. This is the Amazon copy. I think it says the Audible is free. The Kindle is 99. Free. Yeah, no, 99 cents on the Kindle. Audible is free. Hardcover is $26.95. Paperback, they have a couple of copies at $13 and under, but the mass market paperback costs $549. Now, this body of work, and I only got through half of it so far, but I'm going to also show y'all right now where you could get it for free. Just give your sister a second. I'm going to let y'all in on a little secret. Where Sister Keisha be getting all this research information from? I'm about to let y'all in the vote right now. You understand? I'm about to show y'all how I do this right now because, I've always said I love the archive libraries, and since the first lockdown, I wasn't able to do that. But, you know, check this out. With this brother I was telling y'all about, whose name is William Wells Brown. Here is a collection of his body of work, not just that book, The Black Man, His Antecedents, and His Genius and His Achievements, but also his whole collective body of work, including his self-autobiography, The Travels of William Brown, you have here, From Slave to Abolitionist. You have From Fugitive Slave to Free Man, um, Negro American and biographies, and not just his books, but also his letters and writing. So all you got to do is go to archive.org. Archive.org. Now, I have a subscription because I want access to files that are not free. But it depends on you and your level of study and research if you should purchase a subscription. But let me tell you that there is a lot of free information here. So you go to archive.org. And when I tell you this man has written extensively on slave revolts, letters and newspapers and all, you should definitely check out William Wells Brown, and you will not be disappointed. And I'm just showing y'all just a little bit of the body of work here, of his. So once you go through all of this, there is actually a letter that he wrote to, Frederick Douglass wrote to him in here that's very profound. And his response to Frederick Douglass as it relates to the plight of Black people here in this country. And he made it very clear to Frederick Douglass that there is no compromise. That yes, you are a part of the abolitionist movement, as am I, but there is no compromise when it comes to our enemy. This is a letter that he wrote to Frederick Douglass. So archive.org. That's archive.org. And he talks about his time when he was living in Europe, and his fight for liberation for Black people who lived in Britain and abroad. I mean, this brother, it was profound, but you rarely ever hear people talk about or mention William Wells Brown. And not just his work here, family, but you have a litany of Black scholars, newspaper men or media men at that time who wrote extensively about our plight. I found a letter that Harriet Tubman wrote for those who claim she didn't exist in here as well. All the shenanigans that people talk about, the archives have everything. These state archives and federal archives have everything. And all you got to do is go through it, research it, take some trips to some libraries if you can. I love to just get my backpack and I'll be out. That's it. I'm out. Tell my husband where I'm going and I'm out. He makes sure my pockets is right and he'd be like, all right, let me know when you get there. Let me know when you're leaving, where you're staying, and so on and so on. But check it out, archive.org, and you will not be disappointed on the level and body of work that our people have written about our history, our legacy, in particular revolution and physical revolution at that. Not all this voting and jibber jabbing. And that's why I asked on this program and others many times before, whose ancestors are you following? Where you get that from? Who told you to stand down? Who told you that the vote is the way to go? Who told you that? Because there are libraries full of writings from our people who say otherwise. So, it's up to you. So definitely go to archive.org and check out William Wells Brown. Or if you have your Amazon Prime membership, download the Audible and listen to it while you're getting your workout in or what have you. Half of it I had to do that way because I believe this book is about 1,200 pages long. So if I'm reading, yeah. But I'm telling you, it is a page turner. That's how, I'm telling you, I'll be like this. Hold on, what time is it? I gotta get the hell out of here. But then I end up putting it on my ear so I can listen to it because it's definitely a page turner. He also talks about this, Brother Knowledge, the power of Black media and how we must tell our own story. How we must tell our own story. Because if we don't, he said, and I quote, and this comes out of this book, he said, if we don't tell our own story, our descendants, meaning us, will turn against us in every which way possible. He said, if we are not telling our story, we deserve everything that we get and then some. So, I mean, this book is profound. So definitely check it out, archive.org, and go through his work.
Yo, Keisha, I just put in the chat. One easy thing that y'all could do, family, for Black August. Obviously, we want to hail up and study the great ancestor, the Honorable Marcus Garvey. So, if you don't know much about Marcus Garvey, I know I'm talking to the choir. A lot of people know about him. There's a great documentary. It's actually on YouTube. I just posted the link in the chat room. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, whatever, go in the chat. You'll see I just posted it. It's a YouTube link. You can watch it for free. Marcus Garvey, Look for Me in a Whirlwind. It's a great documentary on his life. You know what I'm saying? You get a generic, basic understanding of who the man was and his movement and how he began from Jamaica, leaving Jamaica, coming to New York, coming to Harlem, doing all the great things that he did. And it's really inspiring, And another thing is you can also pick up the philosophy and opinions of Marcus Garvey. This is a book that I never put down. I never put it away because it's just so much knowledge in this book. I read it in between my other books. I always got it open. I got some bookmark right now. So this is one of the things that you can't say you are RBG, Black Power, or Red, Black, and Green, whatever you're saying. If you're not reading the philosophy and opinions of Marcus Garvey, then that's blasphemy. You can't say you RBG. This is the man who created RBG. He gave us our flag. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't know who Marcus Garvey is, you set tripping. So make sure y'all pick up the philosophy and opinions of Marcus Garvey. Or if not, you can start with the link that I just put in the chat. The documentary is called Look for Me in a Whirlwind. So you can even just look that up on YouTube. Look for Me in a Whirlwind. It's spectacular, great documentary, give you a whole understanding of who he is. and then you get deeper with his philosophy and opinions. But you know, I just wanted to give that little you know, that little resource. And I also wanted to say, in the spirit of what Keisha was saying about, you know, fighting back, uprisings. You know, this is Black August, what we talking about. So another popular uprising, because we seem to think like when we talk about our history and Black August and things of that nature, we think about things of the past, and we think about people that, you know, we kind of aspire to be, you know, and most times these people that we aspire to be are so great that to some people it might seem like, damn, I can never be that, or I can never reach that level. So that's why a lot of us sit back in our armchair and we don't do a goddamn thing to help our people, because we sitting here looking for another leader. Well, we look at ourselves and be like, damn, I can't be like Malcolm X. I can't be like Ali Muhammad. I can't be like Amos Brooks. I can't be like all these people, our young sisters. They don't know that they can even be better than Harriet Tubman's. You know what I'm saying? They can even be better than all of these great warrior empresses that came before them. And that's how they should be. They're supposed to be better, because they already got their ancestors. They gave them the blueprints. And now all they got to do is take what they did and do it even better, apply more to it, because we're in the information age. But we always seem to look back to the past and get stuck on that, romanticize on the past, and we forget the present uprisings. We still political prisoners. So if you want to talk about Black August being started about, you know, in the prison system, and you want to talk about the Black guerrilla family that created Black August as a holiday to heal up the incarcerated and the people that passed on, the freedom fighters, we still in the goddamn prison of North America, of America right now. You know what I'm saying? So you can't even have like certain, you can't even be a revolutionary on social media and things of that nature without getting blocked, getting your YouTube pulled. You know what I'm saying? We saw what they did to Farrakhan. You know, even the young brother, Rizza Islam, took his YouTube channel down just because he took so much powerful things. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're talking about these goddamn vaccines. Don't get started on these vaccines. You're getting pulled like that. They pulling your channel, your Cash App, everything they pulling it. You know what I'm saying? But we got real life revolutionaries, warrior queens and kings right now to this day in the present. So we can't forget that. One of the most powerful uprisings we had in recent times was the Ferguson Uprising. And guess what, family? That happened in August. Ferguson happened in August. They killed Mike Brown. Mike Brown died in August. I think it was the beginning too. It might have been, I think it's like next couple of days is the anniversary of Mike Brown's death. So the Ferguson Uprising started in August. So that's another powerful thing right there, because that lasted almost a year. How quickly we forgot about that. Ferguson was on lockdown for like 300 days. Almost a whole goddamn year. Because brothers and sisters was coming together. And you know who was coming together? Not no armchair revolutionaries was coming together. The gang members, we had Bloods and Crips uniting, GDs and all these gang members out there uniting, and people that was Africans that heard the war horn and was just tired and fed up. They said, you know what, we got to do something. We shutting the city down.
And you know what's crazy, Ashe? Because that's a dope point you brought up. And you said a lot, and it all braided together, because those of us that's supposed to know are supposed to lead and take charge of those who are ready to be active. But unfortunately, like you said, so many armchair revolutionaries, and they become YouTube revolutionaries now. You know what I mean? Because the whole purpose of social media is for us to connect. Everything we do, plan, organize, and strategize is supposed to be done offline. There's still these folks platforms, and we're supposed to understand that if we're smart. We're not supposed to stand up on a soapbox and announce what our quote-unquote strategies are supposed to be. That's why so many are getting jammed up. The whole thing is that many of us want to talk so much because we get fame, clicks, and likes for it. But like you said earlier, you know what I'm saying? They living off of something they did 10 years ago, where folks like us are constantly on the ground, and we're not looking for national attention. We're helping folks next door. We're helping folks across the street. We're helping folks around the corner that nobody wants to help because they're not famous. It's funny how, like you brought up Ferguson, people only took notice because there was so much going on, because I forgot who was murdered prior to Mike Brown. Mike Brown murder came right on the heels of someone else's murder. And that was just a catalyst where folks really got tired of it. But we can't forget brothers like our dude, Darren Seals, peace be upon him. You know what I'm saying? Who was murdered, who we were in contact with, who told us what was really going on in Ferguson, how LGBT movement, i.e. Black Lives Matter, came in, took the money, and just left the folks in Ferguson to deal with them racist race soldiers. Meanwhile, the money that was allocated for the people of Ferguson was snatched from them by Black Lives Matter. We had our brother Chris Seltzer on, who talked about the multiple attempts on his life, to the point that he had to defend himself because somebody tried to run down on him. It's well orchestrated. And my point is that those of us who are supposed to know, not talking about us on this platform and our audience, because we have a sophisticated, intelligent audience, such as Brother Knowledge Born audience is intelligent and sophisticated. But those who follow the rhetoric of those who claim that they're quote unquote pro-Black, like Knowledge Born said, a lot of people are running around masquerading to be African-centered, but they are small hat orbited. They are rainbow coalition orbited. So yeah, you're centered, supposed to be centered in your African identity, but you're orbited by Eurocentric ideas and philosophies. And you tend to follow them once you come off of your square. And that's the problem we have with so many people, because they can dress the part and they think that by changing their name and putting on dashikis and the biggest unks they could find, that makes them real revolutionaries. And it doesn't. Your genuine, authentic, uncompromised love for the people makes you a revolutionary. The reason why so many people support our platform is because if they know us personally, they know who we are. We don't have to talk about what we do for the people in the community. We're just here to share information, to provoke thought, and shed light on the tricks that are constantly being played on our people, and also give reverence to our ancestors, those who came before us. However, what we do offline is so important. How we educate children is so important. How we practice self-defense and encourage folks, go to the range while it's still legal. Learn to defend yourself, because there are too many people playing with it. They scared to speak the unadulterated truth because they don't want to lose their platform. They don't want to lose their likes. I only monitor what I say, because what I say ain't for everybody. And I understand that the enemy is constantly listening. I say, Sister Keisha, how many times have the enemy infiltrated our platforms? And that's why we left. What was that, Zoom? Because they was able to hack into it, put up all kind of pornographic stuff and just run them up. Being who they are. I don't expect them to be outside of who they are. They always gonna disrupt anything we do to move our people forward. The only thing that upsets me sometimes is that our folks act surprised when they do what they do. Our folks act surprised as if they're supposed to be well studied, but still standing up telling the world what it is we're going to do and what we should do and want to do. Only thing we should do is shut up. I think Dr. Frances Cress Welsing said it one time, and in fact, this was one of her last lectures. She said, it was in March, I forget what year, we went and saw it, and it was packed. But she said, imagine if Black folks would just shut up. Imagine if we just shut up. Don't say nothing. Don't talk about protesting. We just meet up. We all come up with a strategy of what we're going to do, and we just shut up. We don't make no mention about it. No Benjamin Crump. No Al Sharpton. Now, this is me throwing those names out there. No Jesse Jackson. None of that. We just be quiet. And the real ones just move. That would turn this place upside down. But check the fly part. That's what the Asian people did. How often you see them protest? Everybody take a page from our book and use it strategically to their benefit. But Dr. Clark told us that in The Great Mighty Walk. He said, look at what they do. He said, they ain't do no marching. He said, those wear our good shoes. He said they went back and did some astute planning. Where's our planners? Where's our think tanks? We got a lot of scholars, and not to take nothing from them, we need more organizers now. Because many of our people, Gabriel Prosser, Denmark Vesey, Nat Turner, Harriet Tubman, they organize. Martin Delaney, they organize. Not only did they agitate the thought and conscience, but they organize. Many people now may agitate thoughts and consciousness, but few organize. And we're supposed to be child-centered. As African people, we're supposed to be child-centered. It's almost like we always preach to the choir. We're supposed to be making it palatable for young people to want this information as opposed to trying to cram it down their throats. We're supposed to live it, practice my yacht, and make it fun for young people instead of trying to be super revolutionary all the time and really don't believe in it. You got to make it fun for children. Dr. Amos Wilson said children still got to have fun. We got to agitate the imagination of children. How many people really read The Developmental Psychology of the Black Child or Awakening the Natural Genius in Black Children? Or even, I forget what the blue book is, dealing with male adolescent violence. Dr. Amos Wilson told us what to do in terms of dealing with our children. That's what made me start my youth group. Dr. Amos Wilson's books. You know, and Brother Ashe, you helped me with the children. Sister Keisha, you helped me with the children. Don't they love it? Don't the children love it? It wasn't no rabble-rouse. It wasn't no beating them in the head. It gave them a sense of pride to fight against the negative images that we see that the mainstream media put out about our young people. Because our young people are in crisis, but those are our children. So it's nobody's job but ours to make sure they're on the right track. But too many people, they just want clicks and likes. There's people that we've helped that were in crisis. And I ain't gonna say no names, but people that we've helped got them notoriety. Now they think they the biggest YouTubers in the world. So many people we've assisted. And they doing it for kudos and accolades, but not out of necessity. Because if you are a big YouTuber now, lend your status and celebrity around real issues, but get in the streets with the people. You ain't that big, dude, that you a superstar. I've seen all of these dudes take money for projects that did not come through. How many dudes said they want money to open a daycare? They not even qualified to open a daycare, but where them daycares at? How many dudes said they was building houses for Black folks, come to find out that ain't even a project and they had nothing to do with it, just using photo ops?
That's right.
And us as Black folks, we got to stop being gullible and naive if we're smart as we say we are. We got to stop following this false leadership. Just because somebody says something outlandish and it's something we never heard before, it don't make them right. You know what I'm saying? Dudes, like now, I don't know, man. I'm about to step off my soapbox.
What you said about you know, if we just shut up, what will happen if Black folks just shut up? You know, that brought me and reminded me of like this meme that I saw online, because people was talking right now about in the media, obviously, you got these devils with their media and they shutting down or canceling this rapper, the Baby. And somebody put a meme up and it was like, the LGBT could cancel whoever they want, the Baby. Why can't Black people cancel, you know,
Lil Nas X? Why we can't cancel Lil Nas X?
Why can't we cancel the LGBT or whoever out here is violating? You know what I'm saying? And the thing about that is like, we do have power. And to tie it back into this whole Black August thing, the power belongs to the people. And that's what the revolutionaries and the Black Panthers and the Black Guerrilla family, all these people was talking about, that people power, Panther power, all of that. The power is with the people. It's just that these devils' power is into tricking the people and making the people feel powerless. You know what I'm saying? So when they do that, one of the top tools and resources they have is they devilish media. So that's why we got our brother Knowledge born up here to talk about the power of independent Black media and why it's so important. You know what I'm saying? Because in these devil media, they media that we see bombarded every time we see an ad on our cell phone, you can't even look up an article or read none without seeing their ads. You can't even watch Knowledge Born, you know, do the Knowledge Radio without seeing their ads in between it and their agenda. You know what I'm saying? But their media is the ones that are giving you vax that ass up. You know what I'm saying? Vax that ass up. I shared a video, shout out to Red Pill. He shared a video about some dude. He talking about he's a hustler in the street. And because he's a hustler in the street, he said he's a hustler in the street. That makes him an entrepreneur. And he sells stuff with people in their faces in these streets. So he got to get the vaccine so he could be out in these streets because he's a hustler. He's sitting on top of a nice car with a Cuban link chain on. So this is what they're doing. This is what their media does. Now they're making it seem like the streets and the real hustlers is really checking for this vaccine and all of that. But really what it is they just cutting checks, and more of our people is selling out, selling their soul for that paycheck because now they want to have a little camera time. That's the same thing that's happening with these YouTube stars and these celebrities that get egotistical, these black people that are supposed to be for our people. Then they get egotistical because they're getting a little YouTube money or whatever, and they sell out. But how you gonna manipulate people? The top number one way they do it is media, television, music. They put the music out when we want. Now we can't even go to goddamn concerts. New York City said that it's mandated if you want to go to a concert, a gym, even a goddamn restaurant. You gotta have the vaccine, and you can show your vaccination card.
They imitate Nazi Germany because we understand that media is the propaganda. It's always been a number one propaganda machine. And once we realize that, I mean, even in terms of Hollywood, like just on an esoteric level, Hollywood creates what? Stars. But Hollywood was the wood that's supposed to be used to create magic wands. Magic wands, you put spells on people. You convince them of a false reality. And that's what all Hollywood do. It manufactures a false reality from a Eurocentric idea that so many of us follow. And it's part of our mental conditioning. But in terms of media, I implore everybody to please get Tom Burrell's book, Brainwashed. It's an easy read. He was in advertisement for decades, and he talks about the existing racism within advertisement and how it's propagandized, and just what we need to do as a community just to be aware, you know, because a lot of things you said is on point, and I want to address a lot of things you said because you brought up so many dope points. Like even with getting the jab to go places, they keep talking about your freedom of choice, but what freedom of choice do you have when they take your choice from you? You know what I'm saying? Say, oh, you free, you just can't do this, that, and the third. Oh, nah, you free to do whatever you want. You just can't do this if you don't do this. That's called coercion. That's what the Fifth Amendment is all about. Your right to remain silent, because they can coerce you because they understand mind manipulation. And that's during the founding of this country with the writing of the Constitution. That you don't have to blatantly tell somebody something, but you could forcefully suggest. It's very manipulative. And since they gave us an inferior education, being in the communities we don't understand how the mind works and what's really the true basis and purpose of education. Education is to educe, bring out what already exists within you. But if you don't know what's inside of you, you don't know what's being pulled out of you. And that's why they always play these mind games with us. But for those of us who are waking up or have awakened and we're well aware, we get ostracized because we're independent thinkers. We're not going with the status quo. But then Dr. Clark told us about being independent thinkers. He told us to follow Hubert Harrison's books. Read Hubert Harrison. Many people are unfamiliar with Hubert Harrison, but slavery starts here. It starts here. It starts in the mind. Remember, I always tell this story that anytime I get children together, I show them an African in chains and an African without chains. And I always say, which one is the slave? And you know they always pick the one with the chains. Tell them, nah, he's free. They look confused. They say, how is he free? Because the European know if he take those chains off, the African's either going to run away or fight back. The one without the chain is broken. That's what Dr. Carter G. Woodson was talking about in the miseducation of the Negro. We got to get the chains off of our minds because we bugging out now because so many people running out here for this jab. But if you studied in the 90s when the New World Order and Illuminati was the popping thing, if you read books by Barbara Dell Jones, the war correspondent, Invasions of the Body Snatchers, I mean, a lot of times our folks like to cite our ancestors. We like to say the names, but do we really look at their thought process and the plan that they laid out? They put the blueprint out. They left the breadcrumbs like, yo, they're going to do this, that, and the third. So you need to prepare with this, that, and the third. But are we doing that? A lot of times we like to just talk about it. We knew this jab was coming. What the European William Cooper told us in Behold the Pale Horse, he told us it was coming. He said, and I'll never forget, he said that what put him on the path to research more was that he seen a UFO come out of the water. But now, what are they talking about in Congress? That there may be alien contact. They know they've been had contact with these folks. William Cooper said they're going to kill me for putting this information out, but they killed him. He talked about the RFID chips. He said they're going to put them in the animals first, act like it's tracking for the animals, but then they're going to phase them out and put them into the people so they could monitor where we are. Now, a lot of people are saying
what this pass thing is with New York City, because not only are they giving the vaccination cards, but they have an app now. And with the app, it's like you got to have your vaccination registered online. And then you got to show it. You got to show the app. So
just be like, boop. Yeah.
What I was going to say was I was going to go get the hookup from right down the street and get my fake vaccination card. I hope they're not watching or recording this. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I was going to do. Hold it down, get my little Photoshop vaccination card so I could get up in the gym and get up in the concerts for the summer because we outside. But now they said they're registering it in New York at least because New York is extra. This is where their money at. This the Empire State.
But this is where we sacrifice. This is where we go back to living off the land. This is where we cancel our gym memberships and do it old school. Get back in the park. The floor ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, you right. But what I'm saying is like also
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Because what about people that are black businesses? You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people don't even subscribe to this vaccination thing, but they got businesses. So now what? They can't have certain employees that want to work for them. They can't work for them no more. Customers, they losing half of their customers because some people vaccinated, some people not. So they losing money. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like people say that like, yeah, let's go back to Africa and all of that and build like that. It's not that simple, family. You know what I'm saying? Especially if we're trying to get, our financials together and things of that nature. We got to, as a business mind, so this is why it's really an argument that really needs to be discussed because it's not just about us pulling back. It's also about them forcing us to pull back. So we should be pulling back on our own terms, not letting them take our liberties away. Because that's precisely what it is. When they say I can't go what's next when they say you can't go to the grocery store without showing your goddamn vaccination card? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They already said it with the schools. My brother, a whole bunch of my people I know them moved and went to Florida and all of that to get their children out from getting in the vaccinations in the school. So this is just a test trial, like you said, and like William Cooper said. So with this new app, when they got us scanning, what are they doing? They mentally preparing us subconsciously for that scanning, like Tad just said. First it's on the phone, and now it's just for vaccinations. Next is going to be the next vaccination. Is going to be the implant, whatever you want to say. You know what I'm saying? We don't use the term conspiracy theorists because we know that was created by white people to talk about black people that was talking against the goddamn government. That's when the term conspiracy theorist was created. So that's like them trying to use them against us that is actually right and truthful. So we don't use that term. But we know some of this stuff goes over some people's heads, so we try to keep it practical. But these are things that you could literally see. Listen, fam, I just read an article today. They talking about the Wall Street Journal just put out an article today talking about how to properly ask people if they're vaccinated. So they're training regular people, vaccinated people. They training them how to confront people that are unvaccinated. What that sound like? It sound like it might be a nice way oh, we don't want to offend nobody. We want to ask them if they vaccinated in a nice way. No, that's what it seems like. But really, when you peel back the layers, they preparing people for the next level, for the next stage. Now they trying to turn vaccinated people against the unvaccinated people. That's exactly what they're doing. They trying to have vaccinated people do their work for them. And you know, us, unfortunately, the majority of our people that are sleeping are sheeps, and we're going to follow their asses and be their number one hound dog. Right up on black people and right up at black businesses. Oh, you a vaccinated black-owned business? And then we
Yeah,
I was gonna say I was getting ready to say let's get Brother Knowledge Born thoughts on this.
I just wanted to add in real quick. Robert C. Copley Sr. We gave a shout out to that devil that they killed. They were supposed to kill him. They continue on doing what they need to do.
Yeah.
He gave us the breakdown when he looked at Dr. Khaled's assassination on the Patriot Act. So the Patriot Act was signed into law 20 years ago. The vaccines, the quarantine, all of that's in those bills. The Patriot Act 1 and 2. They're there. They're on the books. They're there. You see what I'm saying? So we be getting, way far with the stuff sometimes. We like, what's the thing? They're gonna take everybody to the concentration camps. What's that? What is this joint called? They're like, they're gonna take everybody on the trains and all that to the FEMA camps and all that. They got a whole breakdown on that. What that is. This right under the same guise of a war on terrorism. The terrorists signed this into law, and we was like, yeah, go get them. Just like the stimulus bills and all of that. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you took the dough. What you talking about? You out here. You understand? You took the dough. It's time to pony up. You don't get nothing for nothing. You had no problem with the dough. Where my stimmy at? All the stimmy means, all of that. You understand what I'm saying? Like if you're taking government assistance, you're subjected to the government. You see what I'm saying? You got student loans, you got grants, you got all of that is welfare. You see what I'm saying? All that's welfare. And you bound. You know what I mean? Like, so we gotta know, like, sometimes we just gotta give the little bite-sized stuff to people and just let them look at that. You understand? Like, what they talking about Iraq and Afghanistan with the Patriot Act. Why they got you could go to airport jail without a charge. You could be held there for 14 days. Why they got that? You see what I'm saying? Like, you get into it with TSA, they can hold you with no charge for 72 hours. Then they got another facility for 14 days. Then they got 45 days. Then don't let them add in no psychiatric. You see what I'm saying? So look at all of these things that are there that are happening right before our eyes. You see what I'm saying? So, like, these things going in stages. That's one side. And the other thing I wanted to say is don't mention our ancestors' name and don't think that they're not in control. I thought they was in control. So is this the conversation? Like, we're being pulled, Ashe. We're being pulled, yes. We're being pulled to divest because this is about to fall. So if we got our concerns on whether or not we can get into a restaurant, you understand? Or we can get into a damn gym instead of burning this motherfucker down because we come from people that burnt this bitch to the ground. Who come from people who burnt this to the ground because
hold on, you can't burn your own shit down. That don't make no sense, bro. Because I don't know what I'm talking about.
What I'm saying to you is on whatever level that is. On whatever level that is. I don't want to be too much with that. You see what I'm saying? I'm saying in regards to in what we supposed to be divesting from. We got a window of opportunity. We need to be moving towards that strategically. Because we see the writing that's on the wall. So if folks is biblical believers, they laughed at Noah with the ark. You understand what I'm saying? Until all the way to the rain start coming down. Look at our ancestral adages in regards to preparation for a strategic removal, for a strategic divestment. You see what I'm saying? That's where I'm really at. I didn't want to get too much into the other stuff. There's a window, and it's a small one. And once it closed, you're stuck. So that's the strategic plan. You see what I'm saying? Like, you're looking at, Katrina, you're looking at Ike, you're looking at any of the, if you ain't get the writing on the wall from any of that stuff that got going on, how they could just mobilize people and just do whatever they want to do. You got a window here. Our ancestors is showing us a small window. And if you don't take heed to them signs, whatever you get is what you're supposed to get. That's straight.
I hear you, bro, but I don't know. I just want something clearer, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm talking from a practical level, you know what I'm saying? Like, all of the African-centered schools that we have right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
They still function and are allowed to be open under certain, like a certain paradigm. It's certain things that you got to have in play to even be open. So they say you can't have vaccinations and things that you got to have vaccinations to operate certain kind of things. Then that mean that we got to go to straight war to keep what we want. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not willing to go to war to keep what we want, then the only other option is stopping and doing what they say to do. Because if they finding you or arresting you or having their army come, which is the NYPD or whatever state you live in, to shut down your African Center school or shut down your business because you are not operating by the quote unquote laws that they put together and change whenever they feel like it, then you're gonna have to go to war. And a lot of our people are not prepared or want to do that. You know what I'm saying? So on a practical level, this is something big. This is something that we are really gonna have to, like you said, strategically get to the bottom of and have a plan for Black people when it comes to this. Because this is not just like, the pandemic when it first hit, when we all went back in our houses and quarantined to save money. This is what's happening for the rest of our life. Like, the future is being built on this time right now. You know what I'm saying? So Black people, we starting to say, like, yeah, it's about to be a whole bunch of entrepreneurs and things of that nature. But remember, this devil is planning for all of that as well. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to see us benefit off of the pandemic like we did the first time. That's why they putting all these goddamn vaccination plans and all this stuff into play. Because they know, they already saw how people came up.
So I should remember, it's the jab. It's the jab.
Once people came up that time, you know what I'm saying? They not trying to have that happen. Look at what happened with the stock market. So many people came up on Robinhood. What happened with that? Everybody was up on Bitcoin, all these investments, right? These devils learn about it. They said, hold up, we doing something wrong. Let's switch something up so it can't work for them. So this is exactly what's happening. So if, God forbid, we go back on another lockdown, we can't just be fully optimistic about it without, like my brother said, having a strategy about how you're going to go into this thing and come out on the other side benefiting. We can't just be like thinking like it's going to be the same thing, because they plan it. They got a specific place for Black people. You know what I'm saying? It's all targeted. They know exactly what the statistics are. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, it's to make them better and us worse. So all I'm saying is, let's be practical about this thing, family. We really want to make sure that we are flourishing, and right now, I don't know. I think we need to, like Tad said, we need a lot more organizing to happen. Because a lot of people are just coming, like I said, from this romanticizing level where we think like everything is going to be great and all that, but really is no action being taken, and this is what Black August is about. Take some action, prepare yourself, not just on a mental or physical level, but really on what is going to happen if disaster strikes. You know what I'm saying? What is going to happen if we end up like, so many different places, they can't even have water. If you turn the tap on, ain't no water coming out. You know what I'm saying? You can't go to the supermarket. You got to get the vaccine, and you don't believe now. Whatever you said it was called. I forgot what you said.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The jab, the jab, the jab, Ashe, the jab.
Yeah, you gotta get that. Yeah, like this is a real thing, and I see a lot of people talking about I'm about to move to Africa. That's a great thing as well. That's great, but let's also remember we can't take our goddamn sicknesses, not the illness. I'm talking about the virus. I'm talking about the mental illness that we have, because a lot of us romanticize Africa, and we get into this level of, oh, it's gonna be all great and all, flowers and roses and all of that. And then you get there and it's a totally different story. You know what I'm saying? Africa is for the people that are coming to work, people that come with a plan. Africa don't want no deadbeats coming over there. Africa don't want no Meg Thee Stallions and twerkers and people that's confused about themselves coming over there. Africa don't need it. Matter of fact, don't need that. You know what I'm saying? Africa needs the workers. Africa needs the people that's going to come over there with a plan and say, look, we building up manufacturing, we building up factories, we building up defense, we building up all of these things, So
it's funny you say that, Ashe, because not to cut you off, and I'm going to let you get right back to it, but, Brother Tad and myself, shout out to Sister Tim, we got instruction of what they expect from us, from Dr. Arankana herself. She already laid the blueprint out, and Brother Tad can attest to this. But after she gave that blueprint and that plan of us coming together to do what must be done, I was very in fear of her. Not in fear of her, but fearful for her.
Right.
And I made that claim to her, and
and they
said to the audience that they're gonna come for her. After today, they coming for her, and we gotta surround her and protect her, because this plan that she's laid out is quite serious. And what happened after that, Brother Tad?
They made her step down as the representative, the spokesperson of the African Union. She represented the continent of Africa, just like they have the what's the Brexit. What they was the union, the European Union was doing Brexit at the time, while the African Union was strengthening. Like Sister Keisha said, we sat with her. Sister Keisha spoke there. Sister Keisha was one of the speakers. Shout out to my sister Toyin, who put that together. And they was like, yo, who can you get to speak to represent Black Americans? Me and Sister Tam was like, Sister Keisha. We was like, Sister Keisha. Sister Keisha came to Queens, tore it up. And I think we got the picture. You still got your picture? We got the picture we all took. Now, this is what we're supposed to do. Many people didn't know about it because it wasn't supposed to be out there like that. Grassroots, organizing. We're supposed to be quiet. But of course, even when we're quiet, it wasn't nothing that was on social media like crazy. But nonetheless, it was for those who were serious, knew about it. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we were there, and the people that invited us knew we were serious people. So they said, you know what? We got this sister from Africa coming. She represents the union. Because, she's been on CNN and all that, giving the opposition hell. But like Sister Keisha said, Sister Keisha told her, yo, they're going to come for you. And we see what's going on with the heads of African states right now. The assassination of the Haitian president and the attempted assassination on the president of Madagascar and other Black nations, because they trying to cut us off at the pass. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I think, when we're serious, what's understood don't need an explanation. You know what I mean? We know what we got to do. We see what they're doing. Like we said, our audience is sophisticated. We're sophisticated. And now that it's opened up temporarily, we got to get back to the meetups. You know what I'm saying? With other heads of states, international heads of states, because what they want us to believe is that there's nowhere we can go. They want us to think that. They trying to plant that fear in our head, because fear is very paralyzing. But we're warriors. We're warriors. We from Brooklyn, New York. Like, we face dangers just going home. You know what I'm saying? We done got gentrified and still got to deal with knuckleheads. We gonna be all right. We made it this far. Our ancestors made it this far. We come in their spirit. We come in their legacy. Back to, you know what I'm saying, the good point you made earlier, Brother Ashe. You know, sometimes people get discouraged because they like, I can't be like Malcolm. I can't be like, all we asking folks is just to be their best them. Be your best self. That's it. I'm quite sure Malcolm wasn't trying to be the next Garvey or the next Elijah Muhammad. Malcolm just decided to be his best Malcolm. You know what I'm saying? I never thought that I would be in the movement to the capacity that I am, going back and forth to Africa, meeting with heads of African states. But Tad is just being Tad. You know what I'm saying? I'm not nobody other than who I am. That's why I still keep my Yankee fitted on. You know, still throw my Timbs on. I'm gonna be me, authentically me. I'm not trying to impress nobody. Show that I'm blacker than the next person, or nah, I'm just me. All I could do is try to constantly grow. And that's all we're trying to do is agitate our folks' thought. Let's get out of this Eurocentric paradigm and get into the reality of ourselves. Ancient Kemet, what they say, know thyself. Man, know thyself. But then we gotta look in the mirror and say, who are you? If you know that you're African, if you really know, you know what I'm saying? And this is for people who are tuned in to learn. Like we said, we already got a sophisticated audience, but those who this knowledge is new to them. If you know what our ancestors been through and the insurmountable odds that they've beaten, what makes you think you can't do it? We here for a reason. We divine by design. None of this is accidental. There's a reason why we weren't born in the 60s and weren't born during slavery. It's a reason why we're here right now, because we got a job to do that only could be done by us. Nobody else. Who knows what Malcolm would have done if he was born in this time? He may not have made it. He may have stayed Detroit Red. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? But we here now, and this is all we got. And we got to work with what we got. We only got each other. You know what I'm saying? So we just got to hold on to that. I'm going to step off my soapbox, though, because we got about 10 minutes left. You know?
Real talk. And, you know, just to wrap this up, but even our brother Ashe, you know, I know the young lion, he gets fiery, but he's supposed to.
That's right.
He's supposed to.
He's doing what he's
to
supposed
keep
to
us
do.
on our toes. If not, if he wasn't, I wouldn't be rocking with him. And I've been rocking with Ashe for a very long time. So I wouldn't be rocking with him at all. But he's doing his job. Period. Knowledge Born is doing his job. Black media is critical. Critical. And shout out to everybody who shows us love. You know, I get messages, emails, texts. Sometimes I send it to the brother. Sometimes I forget. A shout out to Bruce Coleone. One day I'll tell the people why I call him that. But shout out to him. He said that this platform is his salvation. Sometimes you need something to make you feel like I'm not crazy. I'm not going insane. And we do that. You know, shout out to Team Swap. These sisters of mine, we have grown since we first began. And that came through the brainchild of my cousin Tashima. She know how each of us rock. And if we could together, period. Some of us brought others onto it. But we gel perfectly. Perfectly. And we're growing in ways like never before. You know, I said before, we had our Iwa celebration. It was for a reason, to open that third eye to a higher level of thinking that nothing can break this line of who we are. Period. Period. Brother Tad do his, I wouldn't rock with Brother Tad if he wasn't the man that he is. And he has grown since I first known him. Since I first met Brother Tad, he has grown so much. And I just sit back, parlay, and watch, and let him do his thing. Stop playing. Here he go. You see what I'm talking about?
You didn't go that much.
That shit is stupid.
I'm like, how much you know, Keisha? Yeah, shorter. Keisha must be getting shorter.
That shit is stupid.
This man here, you see what I'm talking about? You see? I'm telling you, he's something else. But I love my brothers to death for real. And like I said, we could be doing a whole lot of other things. And believe me, our schedules are hectic. Neither of us have time to diddle daddle. We just don't. But we have to do this because it is in line with what we must do, as Brother Taz say, in this time. Black media is critical now more than ever. And we've showed you here on this platform where vice presidents from CNN said who they watching. Who they watching?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we are vindicated on many levels. So, and we don't say that just to gloat or anything like that, but to know that we are on the right path. And so I thank my brother Knowledge Born Allah for always teaching me. I'm always watching him. I watch how he asks questions. I watch how he run things. When we started this program, I went to Knowledge Born. What's the best media stream to use? I went to him. He's the master. Why not? So I thank you, brother, and your military mind. I just love it. I just love your military mind, and I don't know if his guests really understand the military strategic approach he uses to interviewing. You just got to know what it is. So thank you, brother. Always your final thoughts and comments for us tonight.
Well, it's always honored to be welcomed someplace because y'all know, like I know, we don't get welcomed everywhere. You understand? We don't get welcomed everywhere. So it's always an honor to be invited somewhere. Not forced. You looking around the room like, am I doing here? You understand? So it's always good to have a warrior haven where the African mind is celebrated and challenged. You understand what I'm saying? So salute to y'all. Support this platform, and Thorough Black Talk lives to every iota of its meaning in word and in deed. We got some thorough black minds that's gonna make sure you walk it like you talk it, or they might chin check you. You understand what I'm saying? So support African centered media, and we need a coalition. I'm gonna say that in my closing remarks. We need a media coalition. We need about 20 to 40 strong, focused, and remember why they started media outlets. So whenever there's something to push, whenever there's a place to go, as we divest from the groups of Yorugu, we have a place to go. You see what I'm saying? So the word gets out, and the word is able to spread vastly because the internet's not going nowhere, social media is not going nowhere. So you need some strongholds, for your authors, for your entrepreneurs, for those that are investors, things like that. You need 20 to 40 platforms. I don't care how large or small they are, but in organic solidarity to be able to go. You see what I'm saying? So Brother Saccz need 40 places to go talk about better days ahead. He need to be booked. You understand what I'm saying? Ashe need to be booked. That's a solid African right there. With the cash mob, we need to know who to support, who not to support. You see what I'm saying? That political arm and that political mind that Sister Keisha has, she needs 40 platforms to go on and get our mind politically oriented so we can move astutely. You see what I'm saying? So that we're looking to build that coalition. So when we have we got our own narrative, and that mission statement is clear. You see what I'm saying? The mission statement is clear, and it's a place where you can go and you can be your organic self, and you ain't got to worry about no cut. So shout out to Thorough Black Talk, shout out to the family, and always holding a space, for African to come through and be African.
Oh shit.
Thank you, brother. And I like that. I like the look of a coalition, and maybe me and you can make it happen. Let's wait until after Black August, so that'll be the first week of September. Because personally, me, I'm going to be traveling a lot this month, so we'll make it happen. I'll give you a call. We're gonna make it happen. What we gonna do? We ain't talking about it on this platform. But for those
Right.
of you who are in media, please stay tuned, because if I say I'm going to do something,
It's
I don't
done.
just talk about it.
Can
I am
can I
about
invite
it.
everybody to African Independence Day celebration? I might get
Yes.
choked out by Oba if I don't talk about it. August 7th. That's another flea day for those who are fasting and keeping with the protocols of Black August. August 7th, Jonathan Jackson's Ascension Day. We'll be right on Do Knowledge Radio 1 to 5. That's this Saturday. It'll be virtual 17th annual African Independence Day mod celebration. We got some serious. We got a serious lineup for you. You understand what I'm saying? So we'll be on from 1 to 5. You understand? And if, Sister Keisha, if you sneak in there for a second, I'm telling you, we need a quick word. You understand what I'm saying? We need a quick word in that thing. So 1 to 5 on Do Knowledge Radio. Shout out to my brother Oba Wajumi for keeping this going. 15 years physically. The last 2 years have been virtual, this year and the year before. So the brother was able to keep this tradition on from brother by the name of Ahmed out of Philly, who kept this going. He's an ancestor now, so he's carrying on ancestral tradition. You see what I'm saying? So come out, support, and show some love. That's going to be a good celebration. Pardon me for it.
Send us the flyer and all of that, bro, so we can share it on the page and everything.
All right. All
Yeah.
right,
That's
family.
what's up, brother. So again, I'll reach out to you. We'll make it happen, brother Knowledge. So, be safe while you out here. Keep your head on the swivel. These New York streets is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Brother Tad, brother Ashe.
Well, family, again, we want to thank y'all for tuning in, rocking out with us tonight. Hopefully, you were inspired by what you heard tonight. So it's your turn to go out and inspire others. So y'all stay up, stay blessed, stay true. And remember, no matter how hard things may seem right now, it's always better days ahead. Brother Ashe.
Yeah, family, if you ain't getting nothing out of tonight, please make sure y'all push Black August. Make sure the people that know about it, educate somebody else on it. Just ask somebody. This is how I'm going to give you a script. You could literally just go up to somebody and say, hey, what you doing for Black August? That's what you say. What you doing for Black August? They're going to say, oh, I'm doing something, or they're going to say, what's Black August? Boom, you in the door. Yeah, we done laid it out. We gave you information tonight. All you got to do is regurgitate the info we did, do a little bit of information, research on your own, figuring it out. Like we said, Black August is a very spiritual month. And I'm saying spiritual not because it was created to be a spiritual thing. It was created to be on a physical plane of activism and honoring the ones that have done activism for our people. So let people know a lot of powerful dates, a lot of historic dates are in August when it comes to the liberation and freedom of our people. So throughout the whole month, we celebrate Black August. We read, we exercise, we eat clean, we fast. We stop doing some of the things that we do, like drinking all the time, smoking all the time, partying all the time. We really go inside and reflect and build a better person for ourselves and for our race. That's what Black August is about. It's like Juneteenth for 31 days, but even better. You know what I'm saying? So let's just do that. Please educate somebody else on what Black August is. That's your homework for this week. Until next time, family, always remember, true courage is knowing how to suffer. This is your brother Ashe SJ. The battlefield is where you stand, family. Sister Keisha.
Thank you for tuning in. As always, please follow Better Days Ahead Fitness on Instagram and on Facebook. Please follow Solid African on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Instagram. You will not be disappointed. And again, check out the new animated skits from me, K Fighter. You will have to send me a friend request on Facebook for K Fighter Free Me, and follow K Fighter on Instagram and on Twitter. Just doing something a little bit different, and keeping in line with media. So again, family, we definitely appreciate all of you for tuning in. Tell somebody to tell somebody. It goes down here every week, every Thursday, 8 to 10 p.m. We will be off next week, and we'll come back on the 19th. So it gives you a lot of time to share the platform, share the program, and let people know where it goes down here on the Brooklyn Bridge. Y'all stay up, stay African in this month of Black August. Stay true to yourself. Stay true to your ancestors. Stay true to your family. Be courageous. If now is not a time more than ever, we ain't even get into stuff we really wanted to get into tonight, but you gotta stay courageous. I know it's hard. But you can do it. It's easy. We out, y'all. Have a good one.
Yeah.